Chris, what is our fourth main topic today?
Topic 4 comes from Antagonistic Anonymous.
Ooh.
Hey, Campea Crew. In the last week, Doctor Strange 2 has gotten a TV spot almost every day, which to our surprise revealed some pretty big moments, such as Living Tribunal, first look at Captain Carter, as well as a new look at Xavier's golden chair. Personally, for a 2-hour film, I was really surprised they were releasing so much of these moments online, and it looks now even Kevin Feige was surprised. During the world premiere, Kevin hinted towards not liking how much footage was shown during spots and trailers. John, doesn't Disney pre-approve these spots with Marvel before releasing it? And if so, what led to Kevin having a disapproval tone?
All right, so this is where it gets kind of interesting. So obviously, Doctor Strange coming out, the premiere happened. We covered the first reviews that came out. We're going to go see it tomorrow afternoon. We're like 27 hours away from watching Doctor Strange. Very excited about that. But what has become a little bit of a pattern with the MCU movies is this. They've done like 2 major trailers, and then particularly getting into the last 2 weeks before the movie opens, it's like a new TV spot drops every day. And I mean, that's a little bit of hyperbole, but it feels like every day a brand new TV spot, new this, new that, a lot of things being revealed. I mean, I was shocked a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, when they revealed Patrick Stewart in the trailer. Like, I was shocked about that. And then recently they showed Captain Carter in the trailer, and they showed that, and they showed an awful lot of stuff. And that's a little bit more outside of the normal pattern for Marvel, but it's something we're seeing increasingly more and more of leading into things. And I expect we're going to see the same kind of pattern for Thor. So what happened was, for those of you who missed this, Kevin Feige was being interviewed on the red carpet of Doctor Strange. And it kind of came up about how much of the stuff has been revealed in the movies. Now, just to give you some pretext to this, I had been told last week that Feige was upset. I heard that Feige was upset at the marketing. I didn't hear any details about what was he upset about, like what part of the marketing was it, but I just heard Feige was upset. So it kind of made sense then when Kevin Feige was being interviewed, and he said the following. This is what Kevin Feige had to say. He said, in talking about the amount of stuff that's been shown in the marketing, there's been too much in the trailers. I don't want to talk about anything else. But I will say Sam has made, talking about Sam Raimi, Sam has made this movie to be experienced on as big a screen as possible, and it's even the first one in a long time that 3D was really taken into account too, because the first Doctor Strange film, I think, was our best film ever in 3D, and this one now will be right alongside of that. Now, just back to the beginning of that again, there's been too much in the trailers. I don't want to talk about anything else. So our person writing in and asking the question, Antagonistic Anonymous writing in and asking, well, wait a minute, doesn't Marvel get final approval on these things? I mean, why is Kevin Feige upset about what's in the trailer? Isn't he in charge of what's in the trailer? Oh, my friends, once upon a time that was true. Once upon a time it was true that Kevin Feige had control over what would and would not go into the trailers. Why? Because he is the studio head. I remember I was doing, we were talking about Age of Ultron a little bit earlier. I was the MC for an Age of Ultron panel at Disney, and Kevin Feige was on it with me, and I was waiting outside. Kevin Feige came up. He was running a couple minutes late in this golf cart. Because Disney Lot's a big place. So some assistant pulls him up in a golf cart. I talked to him for a second, and it's like, what are you doing? He said, I was just doing this, this, and this. And he said, and I just literally just came from a screening room, just giving final approvals on the Ant-Man trailer, and blah, blah, blah. So he used to be, while he didn't make the trailers himself, he was very involved in overseeing about what could not, and all that kind of stuff being a trailer. But that was before the dark times. That was before the era of Bob Chapek. That was during the reign of the great Big Papa Iger, who let his creatives be in charge of creative things. When Bob Chapek came in and restructured the company, a lot of the authority and power that rested with creatives like Kevin Feige was stripped away and taken away from them. One of the things that we know was taken away from them is, Kevin Feige said, hey, this thing needs to be seen on the big screen. That's actually no longer Kevin Feige's decision to make. Kevin Feige doesn't even get to decide where his projects get to go. There's somebody specifically, a new layer of management that was created that they decide where Kevin Feige's creations go. But one of the other things is Kevin Feige gets, I'm not going to say zero, he gets a lot less control now over the marketing of their projects. And you're starting to see the cracks. You're starting to see the cracks, not just in the fact that Marvel trailers are now giving away more than they ever have before, but you're starting to see the cracks in when's the last time Kevin Feige showed public frustration? I can't remember a time. I cannot remember a time Kevin Feige showed public frustration. And this is a pretty mild bit, but it's the most frustrated I've ever heard him sound in something like this, right? So it is what it is. It is what it is. You would think that the head of Marvel Studios would get to have final say about what does and does not get included in the things, but this isn't that was before the world of Bob Chapek. That was before that world. And now there are business people in charge of these things instead of creatives. And so can expect to see this again. And I'll tell you what, if this movie makes, Ray, how much?
$266 million.
If this movie makes $266 million.
Is that worldwide or domestic?
Domestic.
Domestic.
If this movie makes 200, we always just count domestic with opening weekend numbers. So if this movie goes on to make $266 million opening weekend, which I don't think it will, but if it does, oh, you can bet what they've been doing in the marketing for Doctor Strange, they will keep doing it and they will double down on it. And honestly, who could blame them? I mean, if their marketing approach is going to bring in $266 million, who could really blame them?
Can we please add overseas numbers to that 266?
No, we cannot.
Because the projections are already higher than that if you include overseas numbers.
Yeah, opening weekend is always just domestic. That's always just counts that. But, so... You know, it is what it is. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Policy Genius. Now, when it comes to the topic of life insurance, I get it. A lot of people ask, well, why even get life insurance? Well, listen, if someone relies on you financially, whether it's a child, a parent, or a business partner, life insurance gives you peace of mind that they have a financial cushion if something were to happen to you. Policy Genius is here to help you, and they're going to make sure you pay as little for it as possible. By making it easy to compare your options from top companies, Policy Genius can help you make sure you're not paying a cent more than you have to for the coverage you need. So here's how it works. Policy Genius is your one-stop shop to find the insurance that you need at the right price. Just click in the link down in the description or head on over to policygenius.com/Campea to get started. In minutes, you can compare personalized quotes from top companies to find your lowest price. You can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. And the process is easy because the licensed agents at Policy Genius are on hand through the entire process to help you understand your options and make decisions with confidence. Because ultimately, the Policy Genius team works for you, not for the insurance companies. And you can feel confident with Policy Genius because they don't add on extra fees. They don't sell your information to third parties, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews all across Google and Trustpilot. So again, guys, head on over to policygenius.com/Campea or click on their link down in the description below to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. And thank you again to Policy Genius for sponsoring this episode. Anyway, Chris, you hear about this. I mean, they have revealed a surprising amount. And now this is coming from the guy who said, hey, listen, you put a little bit of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in those Spider-Man trailers, you're not just going to make a lot of money, you're going to make all the money. So that's me saying that, right? But still, this is a bit of a change of direction. What do you make from Kevin Feige's statement here? And do you think they've shown too much?
I don't feel like they've shown too much because it's just increased my hype, right? Earlier I was talking about how I had all those great 90s cartoons. Seeing the golden chair, just a hand on it. Wow. So in. And then I got more hyped because I was like, oh, Rob's theory is going to come true. I hope this is happening. Please don't make this your expectation though, Chris. Calm down. So I got really excited about this. And you know, my husband Logan is a very staunch, like he tries to not watch any promos of things. And now that I'm back on this show, he's like, yeah, we're going to watch it. It's fine. I want to be able to talk on the show with you. But he even watched it. He was like, no, this is just great and exciting. Why is everyone saying it's spoiling stuff? So for me and for him, you know, we felt like it was just giving you a little bit more of that taste, right? You're seeing a shield. You're seeing the edge of a chair. Some of those things are just making me more excited about this. And as somebody who's even already seen 20 minutes of this film and hasn't seen those things, I'm just pumped about it. I totally understand Kevin Feige's frustrations here from going from having that kind of control to so much less, it seems. So that definitely would be annoying. But I do think that the trailers so far have been doing a really great job of just giving you a taste and wanting you to go in for the main course.
You know, and I'm going to say I agree with you. I don't personally feel, I mean, are they showing a lot more than they normally do?
Yes.
Yes. I don't personally feel they've shown too much. Saying a character is in this movie.
Rad.
Okay, we all knew Captain Carter was in it. We saw the Captain Carter shield on the poster, so we knew Captain Carter was going to be there. I mean, yeah, I was surprised they showed us the Patrick Stewart thing, but still, I mean, I don't personally feel that. Kevin Feige clearly does, though,
Yeah.
and it is more than they've ever done before. Rob, what do you make of this situation? What do you think of Feige's comments?
Well, there's an important thing to remember too about studios. The marketing departments of the studios are very, very powerful. And I think you had Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals come out. None of them made the kind of money that, I know it's the pandemic era and all that, Spider-Man comes along and makes a significantly larger amount of money. And that was Sony, different studio. And I think that in a way, the marketing department might have been able, and with Bob Chapek's approval, exert more power over the marketing of
For
these
Doctor
movies.
Strange.
For Doctor Strange.
Because they saw what happened with Spider-Man.
Yeah. And while I'm sure Kevin Feige fought tooth and nail to keep Toby and Andrew out of those trailers, and that was probably a good thing because it created a fever pitch of anticipation. But in the case of Doctor Strange, I mean, this is a different movie. Again, having only seen 20 minutes, it's wacky, and it's Sam Raimi, and I think that they really wanted to capture. They wanted the audience, the general audience, to be as excited about this as anything else. And they might have shown a little too much, but I think that, let's face it, aside from Spider-Man, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the money was not coming in the way it had done previously. I mean, if you look at the first Doctor Strange movie, and even Ant-Man made 500 and something million, that's not what Shang-Chi did, but Eternals didn't, Black Widow didn't, and those box office numbers, comparatively speaking, were from 10 years ago. So I think that they needed to come out guns blazing on this movie, especially on the heels of Spider-Man. So I think the marketing department was given a lot more leeway than, say, they might have. And like you said, under Chapek, the creatives don't get, it's like, listen, Kevin, yeah, you had a lot of say in these other movies, but we're going to try something a little different on this one. See if we can get those box office numbers on the MCU movies that we release back up. So I, like you, though, I don't think they showed too much. Because, watching the first 20 minutes of the movie with you, we'd seen those sequences.
Yeah.
But seeing them in the movie in context was wildly entertaining because you didn't see all of those sequences. You're like, okay, there's a giant one-eyed monster, tentacled monster, Gigantus, whatever. Those creatures are in the film, but you don't know in what context. You don't know. There's something that happens in that battle when we're all like, yeah, man, when we were watching it, we didn't see any of that. You don't know how it's going to play out. So I don't think they showed us too much.
And look, at the end of the day, winning cures everything, right? So, I mean, if I end up having to buy Ray a hot toy, because if this thing makes $266 million, I mean, on the good hand, it's like, hey, their project's making money. That's great. On the bad hand, it probably just emboldens the people to take more power away from the creatives and stuff like that. And listen, again, 99% of movies that the public perception is that directors make the trailers to their movies. 99% of the time they do not.
Dude, when I made my own little movie and we had a distribution company, we didn't have any say. They ran
a free enterprise.
Yeah, free enterprise. They ran it by us. They showed us different concepts, but they were their concepts. We didn't be like, what about this? And I remember watching the trailer thinking maybe it gave too much away, but I didn't have any control over it. None. They wanted our approval, and they got it. But if we said this sucks, they'd be like, well, we appreciate your concern.
Thanks for your input.
Yeah, thanks for your input. And
We'll
that's
take
it.
that into consideration.
That's right.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
But Kevin Feige is the studio head. He's the studio head.
John, I haven't seen any of these TV spots. I don't know where they're playing it, or do you have to look for them? But
They're all on YouTube.
I stopped watching. I gotta
have you
say, I
guys
did
seen-
stop watching.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
have you guys seen any?
Yeah.
They're easy to avoid. I mean, the chat or sometimes will tell me, oh, they showed Captain Carter, but me not having a visual of it, there's no spoiling going on.
You know what you can't avoid? Because
What?
you're right. You can easily avoid those TV spots, and I've avoided a lot of them. What you can't avoid is like me opening YouTube today, and the front thing on YouTube was the scene of so-and-so kills so-and-so, and it's right there in the thumbnail of the thing. It's like, that's a little harder. That's a little harder to avoid. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Kevin Feige sounds a little upset. He thinks they put too much stuff in the marketing for Doctor Strange, something he would have had control over before, maybe doesn't now. What do you think? Do you think they've shown too much in the trailers? I think they've shown a lot more than they normally do, but I personally don't think it's been too much. Maybe you do. Whatever your thoughts are, jump down into the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.